Alright, good morning students. Okay, today I'm going to do a very quick recap with you on the SEQ explain type questions before you actually get started on your assignment. Okay, so the first thing we must remember is, what does a SEQ explain type question actually assesses you on? It assesses you on two things. The first one being how well you understand your content, and secondly, and more importantly, are you actually able to explain your content points in such a way that links back to the issue of the question. And an explain type question differs from a describe type question in the sense that a describe type question will only assess you on content knowledge. Okay, so you will realize that an explain type question requires more thinking process. So how do you start an explain type SEQ? Okay, first and foremost, right, identify the issue in the question. What is the question actually asking you about? Right, brainstorm on the content. Okay, you should be thinking about the relevant content points that actually ATQ. And thirdly, organize your answer in a PU format. Now, what does PU actually stand for? By now, you should be very familiar. Okay, P stands for your point. E stands for your elaboration, right? So elaborate on your content point. Are there examples to substantiate your content? After doing so, you move on to explanation. How does the content answer the issue? And at the end of it all, in your paragraph, you will link it back. So this is where you can actually use connectors to link back to the issue. Some examples of connectors will be words like therefore, as a result, or hence. Okay, so that is very theoretical. Now let's actually put it into practice and look at the question that you have been given for this week. So this is your SEQ question. Explain the political and economic circumstances that enabled the rise of the Nazi Party in Germany. Okay, so here you see that they are asking you on two things: political circumstances as well as economic circumstances. Okay, it being an 8-mark question, it requires to have 2 PUs. So 1 PU on a political circumstance and 1 PU on the economic circumstance. Now, before you even start thinking about the content, right? Step 1, remember, you have to identify the issue in the question. In this case, the issue here is the reasons for the rise of the Nazi Party. So when we think about the rise of a party, or we think about the rise of a personality, a person, a leader, okay, what are we actually thinking about? How do we define that a leader has risen to power, or that a certain political party has actually gained political power? Okay, so this is where you actually think about how, okay, the key the key linking point being that the Nazi Party was able to win the support and votes of the Germans. Okay, so this is a very key important point that you should be taking note of, right? Meaning to say, whatever content you should write or that you are going to be writing about must, one way or the other, link back to how that particular content point leads to the Nazi Party winning the support and votes of the Germans. Okay, so step 1, we have already identified the issue in the question. So step 2, we will think about the content. Let's brainstorm on the content. So what content have we learned so far? For political circumstances, we looked at the weaknesses of the Weimar Republic. Alright, and under the weaknesses, okay, there were 3 sub points. So 3 different weaknesses of the Weimar government. Okay, proportional representation, weak support from the Germans, and opposition from left and right. So here, you just need to pick 1 sub point to be actually doing your PU on. Okay, Now, on the your next paragraph will be on the economic circumstances. So what are the economic circumstances that we have learned so far? We have learned about hyperinflation, and we have learned about the Great Depression. Okay, so now that we have actually brainstorm on the relevant content, step 3 will be then to organize your answer in a pew format. Alright, now, so for example, let's say if we are going to be writing about proportional representation as a weakness of the Weimar government, we must be able to firstly elaborate what is proportional representation. Okay, and then you have to be able to tell me how was the problem of proportional representation, okay, a reason for the rise of the Nazi Party. What is it about proportional representation that led to the Weimar government being weak? And the Weimar government being weak, how did that eventually result in the Nazi Party winning the support and votes of the Germans? Okay, to be able to PEEL, you must be able to do that. Alright, and then that's the first paragraph, and then your second paragraph, okay, you can write on the economic circumstances. So for example, if I'm going to be writing on the Great Depression, after I've elaborated my content on what the Great Depression is about and the impact of the Great Depression on Germans and Germany, I must be able to explain how this event, the Great Depression, actually led to the Nazi Party winning the support and votes of the Germans. If you don't do that, your answer is a L2 answer, meaning to say that you are only at the point of elaboration. There is no explanation. So your explanation needs to be very explicitly written down for the marker to see. Alright, okay, so I hope that this very short video clip has been useful to you in your analysis of the question, and it actually provides some form of scaffold, okay, to actually help you in writing out your 8-mark essay. Okay, remember that if you have any questions or if there's anything that you don't understand, I'm just a text away. Okay, but please make sure you submit this piece of work by the deadline that is given. Alright, okay, thank you, and I will see you soon. Bye.